The majority of chat and voice bots are not performing. This results in unnecessary costs and poor customer experiences. This undermines confidence and can damage a company's reputation. Customers demand experiences that respond to their needs and add real value. When selecting technology, don't bet on one horse. The Blits.ai ecosystem gives access to over 40 cognitive services from the industry's best AI engines. Get the best performance for any use case or language. Don't let your chatbot turn into an expensive phone selection menu. Start today and use our drag and drop environment to create chat and voice bots that truly understand your customers, all without writing a single line of code.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Blits.ai tutorials. Today we'll be adding entities to our intents that we have created in last tutorial. In this short video, I'll explain the differences between simple list entities, closed list entities, and roles. Are you ready? Previously, we have created an intent called plain ticket, which we can find under the intent tab. The plain ticket intent contains multiple utterances that we could extend by adding a city to specify the city that a traveler would like to go to. However, adding all cities in the world with an airport would be a tedious and time-consuming task to perform. Entities are the solution to this issue. Entities are a set of predefined words that are combined so that a utterance can contain one or more variable words. These sets can either be simple or closed list entities. So let's start by extending these utterances with simple list entities. If we go to the Entities tab, you can see that I have already created a simple list entity called City with the following cities. I have done so by clicking the Add Entity button, then toggle to Simple Entities, under which I have given a name and a list of example cities. After having created the simple list entity, you can add it to an intent. Simply go to the Intents tab and pick a utterance that you would like to add it to, or create a new utterance. Here I will create a new utterance saying book plane ticket to, and instead of specifying the city, I use the square brackets and I pick the city entity by clicking the Enter button. As you can see, now an entity has been added to this intent, and the utterance is also visible. Now in a similar way, we can add closed list entities to these utterances. If we go back to the Entities tab and then click Add Entity, we can add closed list entities. Closed list entities are very similar to simple list entities. The only difference is that you can write different forms of spelling or synonyms of such a word to these entities. As an example, I have the same cities as I used in a simple list entity, but now I have also added the nicknames and different ways of spelling these cities to the simple list entity. If we then go back to the intent page and we add these closed list entities to a utterance, I can do it in the same way. So I want to book a plane ticket to square bracket city close and hit enter. As you can see, the new entity is also added to the entities and the utterance is also visible at the bottom. Finally, we can add roles to entities. Roles create a relational order between the names of a simple list or a closed list entity. For our example, we can add the start and an end role to specify the beginning and the end of our plane flight. This relational order can be useful to perform automated tasks later on, such as through using SQL queries or API calls. As you can see in the Entity tab, and if we scroll down, I have already added the start and an end role. Now what we can do on the Intent tab is add a utterance that contains these roles. So for instance, we can add a utterance saying, I want to travel from city close start to city close end. Through using roles, the natural language processing engine is able to identify the first city that is mentioned in a sentence as the starting point of the plane ticket, whereas the second city that is mentioned as the endpoint of the plane ticket. With this, we've come to the end of this tutorial on entities. Next time, we'll deep dive into building flows. Hope to see you there. Bye.